For the first time in 2026, Rocky Top is hosting softball. It's the #1 team in the country, the Tennessee Lady Volunteers, taking on Appalachian State here in the first of 5 games this weekend in the Tennessee Invitational. Alongside Riley West, Michael Watring with you for our matchup here today to kickstart what will be 2 for Tennessee this afternoon. And Riley, you look at this Tennessee side, their pitching staff has been so good. Nobody better than Erin Neuer, who has not allowed an earned run this year.
You are absolutely right, Michael. Not allowed an earned run, and that's because she has a bunch of different speeds that she works at every plane and every single count. She can go up with that rise ball as well as an off speed down, a drop ball down, fastball in and out. So she hits all quadrants. So for this App State team and their offense, they're going to have to pick a speed, stick with that speed, and as always, attack early in the count.
Tennessee is one of 5 remaining undefeated teams in the country at 14-0, and they get a really good Appalachian State group that is 12-2, winners of 3 straight, and took out North Carolina Central earlier today by a 9-0 tally in 5 innings. Neuer ready to go. Michaela McLean leads off for App State. The first pitch at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium this season is off the plate away. Ball 1, and we are underway here at 3:07. McLean, one of the best hitters in the Sun Belt this season, hitting .420. Takes high, 7 home runs for the senior, the lone senior in the starting lineup.
The lone senior and Coach Jones down there on third base told us that she has focused this week on feeling good is overrated. Meaning that in softball, not all the time are you going to be feeling good. And either way you go in, you step into that box, you step onto that field, and you are attacking just like she did on that previous pitch.
3 consecutive multi-hit games entering the weekend, 8 for 12 during that stretch. McLean takes high, 3 balls and a strike. Neuer, 26 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings dating back to May 2nd of last year. 24 straight to begin this season. It's the call on the outside corner this time. 3 balls and 2 strikes. What's your mindset if you are App State against this Tennessee pitching staff today?
My mindset is going to be pick a plane and attack that plane. You can see with McLean, she was attacking that up ball, leaving that slower off-speed down pitch go.
McLean launches this in the air to left field. Back is Leach. It's out of here. For the first time this season, Erin Neuer concedes a run, and it's the 8th of the year for McLean. App State leads 1-0.
McLean chose that plane, and she stuck with it throughout this entire at-bat. That first swing was an absolute hack, and then once again, Erin Neuer gives her that up pitch. She stays level right through it and knocks it over the left field wall. The easiest pitch to hit out is a pitch that's already up in the zone, and that's exactly what she got. Elite hitters do not let that pitch go.
This is a Tennessee pitching staff that had given up 5 runs all season long. They'd only given up 4 extra base hits in the first 14 games of the year. And 1 batter in, it's a solo blast. Grace Barrett now stands in, hitting .333 for the year, and it's a ball and a strike, and we'll see how Neuer bounces back as her long scoreless run comes to a conclusion.
Coach Weekly told us going to this weekend that she wants some adversity for her team to be able to fight through. So what better adversity than giving up the first home run of the game and for Erin Neuer to have to bounce back?
Karen Weekly told us about the process in which her team goes about their business. They want to dominate everything. Bouncing ball foul, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's not just dominating a game. It's not just dominating an opponent. It's dominating the entire process. She mentioned, you know what it feels like when you're prepared for that exam. There's no question that's going to trip you up along that way. That's exactly how she wants her team to feel. Barrett swings and misses, chases a pitch up in the zone. So after the home run, Neuer bounces back with a strikeout.
If you're Coach Weekly, this is what you want to see out of the sophomore Erin Neuer. bouncing back. But the reason why she was able to get the strikeout is she started early in the count and then was able to go to that off-speed rise. So when you start early, you work early, you're able to throw pitchers pitches later in the count.
So here's Taylor Schaefer, one of those freshmen that have slotted in nicely into this lineup. How about the 3-4 hitters for App State are both rookies?
I know Coach Jones is really excited that the 3 and 4 holes are rookies and that they're just calm, cool, and collected in the box.
Schaefer, 3 multi-hit games for the year, hitting .289 overall for the season. The 0-2 is there for strike 3, and back-to-back punch-outs for Neuer after the home run.
This is the bounce back that I know Coach Weekly likes to see. And then once again, Erin Neuer just starting early in the count, getting ahead. And then some of these pitches, they might not look to you on camera like they are moving a lot, but by the takes of these batters, when they're almost twitching, it seems as if their pitch has a lot of spin, a lot of movement, and it's just freezing the batter.
So now Madison Fletcher, who's hitting .453 for the season, started 1 for her first 6 to begin the year, and has been hot ever since with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. But Neuer has dialed it in. First pitch strike. It's a pristine day here at the ballpark to watch Tennessee softball, the unanimous #1 team in the country. Beautiful weather expected throughout the weekend. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Fletcher. A little bit of construction means maybe a little bit of a longer walk if you're coming to the park, but nevertheless a good crowd here as always at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium. Neuer's 1-2. Misses off the plate. 2-2.
You can already see an adjustment from Erin Neuer from that first batter that hit a home run, McLean, to now the 4th batter of the inning. A lot of her pitches are working down in the zone, inducing a swing right over the top of it.
The 2-2 is high, 3-2. Neuer had given up just 3 hits all season long, 12 total base runners. Her biggest issue has been walks. She had walked 8 to start the season, but McLean's home run on a 3-2 pitch as App State ahead 1-0. It's 3-2 yet again here to Fletcher. Fletcher chops it foul back to stay alive.
And for Erin to give up that home run, and like you said, not having given up many hits, many base runners at all, this is a moment for her to self-reflect and to lock in and know that she can get it done in these moments, and she's doing a pretty good job of it right now.
Here's another payoff pitch. That's on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. 3 straight punch-outs for Neuer to end the inning. But one of the top power hitters in the country, Michaela McLean, on a 3-2 pitch, deposits a home run to left. And App State has a 1-0 edge with Tennessee coming to the plate. App State hits a home run to lead off the ball game in Michaela McLean, and now Tennessee's lineup digs in, trailing 1-0. And it'll be Cameron Fisher, the freshman from Ellington, Connecticut, the 2025 Gatorade Connecticut Softball Player of the Year, to face this Tennessee lineup.
And Coach Whitney Jones told us before this weekend that Cameron Fisher is no stranger to putting a team on her back, and she really likes what she sees throughout the start of this season. She has some high velocity and has that upspin, so you're going to see a lot of balls at the upper part of the zone, and then also is able to work that upspin on multiple planes if she needs to bring it down.
And she gets an immediate test in the reigning SEC Player of the Week, Sophia Knight, 11 for 13 last week. Knight became the first SEC Player of the Week since my partner today, Riley West, did so a couple of years ago in February of 2024.
That was a pretty good fun fact. I did not know that myself.
5 for 7, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, 6 runs scored. Not a bad weekend for you that week.
I must have been playing with some joy.
Knight takes high, 3 balls and a strike. Spent the last couple years at Boise State, so her introduction here to the crowd in Knoxville. Fisher's 3-1. Splits the plate in half. Count goes full at 3-2.
This is a great at-bat by Sophia Knight. Even if she doesn't get on base, she has now seen 5 pitches and has passed some information on to the batters behind her, which is one of the goals and her jobs as a leadoff batter, Coach Weekly has told us.
Payoff pitch. Knight slashes it foul.
I mentioned playing with joy, and that was probably what was going through my head when I was SEC Player of the Week back in my day. But Sophia Knight is one of those players that plays with joy, and she just has such great relationships with her team, and you have to see that play out in her play.
Another payoff pitch. Knight bounces it towards second base. McLean picks it up, and the first batter retired. Something very few did last week when she was retired just twice in 13 at-bats.
That was a great job by Cameron Fisher, working the ball all around the zone throughout Sophia Knight's at-bat. And then I loved how she came in tight. Could have been a borderline pitch, but got Sophia Knight to hit it off their handle, not hit it too hard down to McLean at second base.
So 1 away here in the bottom of the first inning. Gabby Leach stands in. Leach riding an 11-game hitting streak since an 0-for-4 start to the year. 5 multi-hit games while she's hitting .457 in that time. Fisher falling behind to the first couple batters. This time it's 2-0, and walks have been an issue. She's had 6 consecutive games this season at one point where she walked at least 2.
And that's one of those things that you have to deal with freshman year, is all those emotions, all those thoughts, especially when you're a pitcher who has the ball every pitch. So Cameron Fisher, just something that she's going to have to work towards, work through, knowing that her best success is going to come when she gets ahead of the count.
Works herself back even here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's a Tennessee team that 6 run rule victories so far this season, 113 total runs scored for the year. Here's the 2-2. Leach swings and misses. Really good bounce back there by Fisher. She's retired the first 2.
Fisher may not have gotten ahead of this at-bat, but she definitely worked a great pitch up in the zone when it mattered most. Look at how she's able to get her hands underneath the ball, and that's at the top of the strike zone. So Gabby Leach, thinking that this might be a borderline pitch called a strike, has to go for it.
That's 2 quick outs. And now Taylon Holly, the freshman designated player, comes in. .348 hitter for the year. Takes a ball that ends up on the backstop. freshman from Murrieta, California, is one of the 2 rookies in the starting lineup today for Karen Weekly. They can't draw it up any better if you are App State. And Whitney Jones going to lead off home run and bounce back. Let's see if Fisher can go through the lineup 1, 2, 3 to begin the game.
Coming into this weekend, Coach Jones just wanted her team to compete. She was going to give them as many opportunities as possible. You see her giving the opportunity to the freshmen to start against the number 1 team in the country. So she has a lot of faith in her, but she's also doing exactly what she wanted in competing every single pitch.
Wants to see her team get momentum early and then hold it as the game goes along. Use the phrase, 1 team, 1 unit. Thinks that if they can play as a collective group, they can have a good showing for a program that has never reached an NCAA tournament in its history. Off to the best start in program history at 11-2. Bouncing ball back up the middle to her left. Barrett scoops, throws in time, and it is a 1-2-3 frame for Cameron Fisher in the first. And a really nice play by the shortstop Barrett to end the inning, working around the second base bag. So App State takes a 1-0 edge to the second. Aaron Newer gave up a leadoff home run to Michaela McLean in the first inning. First run that she'd allowed all season long. And App State has a 1-0 advantage as they step to the plate in the second. Leah Gore digs in to start things off. Sophomore catcher takes low, ball 1. Michael Watrang, Riley West, and our team with you here for the first of 5 games this weekend in the Tennessee Invitational. And Newer, after giving up that home run, came back to strike out the next 3, including the last 2 looking.
It was almost if that first home run kind of got her in gear, made her even more focused, because that first at-bat, she was almost throwing a different game, throwing a lot of up pitches, and then the last few batters, she's been starting down and then only going to that up pitch, that rise ball for the strikeout.
2-1 now. There always is that adage of if you're going to get to an ace, you get to them early before they really settle into the game. So we'll see how Newer composes herself in the second inning. 2-1. Misses down, now 3 balls and a strike.
And with this Tennessee staff, they are so elite that every single at-bat that you face them, they are learning something from you in your swing or even your mindset. So you do want to get after them, and you want to get after them early.
Gore pops it up on the infield. Left side, the shortstop Morrison shields the sun with her right hand, makes the catch with the glove in her left, and retires the leadoff batter here in the second.
This is something that you haven't seen all year long is Elsa Morrison, the freshman at shortstop. You usually see Bella Fall over there. And Elsa Morrison's usually behind the plate, so the way that she was able to play that ball, keep her hand up to block the sun was pretty impressive.
First career start at shortstop, played some there in the fall for Karen Weekly. One up, one down. Emily Ching steps in, 257 hitter for the year. A couple long balls, has driven in 5. 4 straight retired from Newer. Well, Karen Weekly told us that the biggest change in Erin Newer was that at times last year she overthrew. She worried about the possibility of a bad result. 2-0 pitch, misses down 3-0. Feels like the shackles in some sense have come off a little bit. She doesn't worry about the outcome. She's a completely different player than she was a year ago, but the player that Karen Weekly expected when they recruited her.
Coach Weekly said that she almost got tired of going out there and playing fearful. And I've been there before. You play your best when you aren't afraid of the result that's going to happen. You're able to play free. So for Erin Newer to get in that mindset, she got sick and tired of going out there and tensing up and not playing her best. And now she's finally able to play more free.
Misses there. So after 4 straight retired, gives up a walk to Ching. And with 1 out, a base runner for the 7-hole batting Summer Simpson, who's 0 for 14 this season.
For Emily Ching there on first, that was a very disciplined at bat. There were some borderline pitches, some different speeds worked, and you want to be aggressive, you want to be elite, you want to go grab that momentum like we've been saying. And so for her to have that discipline at bat, give themselves a base runner is impressive.
Emma Clark heads out to the circle to have a quick chat with Newer. You can see the numbers, 16 strikes, 15 balls. Trying to locate the zone right now. Has gone deep into counts 3 times to the first 6 batters. Pop up again, third base side. Rutan chases, but this ends up in the first row of the bleachers.
Going back to those numbers with the 16 strikes, 15 balls, and them almost be even, you know that the staff and Tennessee is not happy about those numbers, but you also have to take into account that this is the first game jitters back again. Being home for the first time sometimes poses more nerves, more anxiety than your first game of the season because you want to be impressive for these fans. These fans know you from the time you're getting recruited until now. And so oftentimes players are a little bit more nervous for that first home game than they are oftentimes for the first game of the year.
Yeah, I think when you're on the road, there can be some distractions. You're thinking about the bus, what time do I need to be on it, where do I need to go? When you're at home, you're settled in, you're used to it, and you practice here so many times with nobody around, and now all of a sudden there's a couple thousand people here. It's a little bit different. 0-2 pitch is rolled to third base. Backhand, Rutan throws to second for the out there. That is an impressive play right there by the senior transfer to get the runner at second base.
Coach Weekly told us going to this weekend that Maddie Rutan there at third base is stellar, and this play is just about as good as it gets. Going a backhand down the line, and then to know that you still have time to get that play at second base. She read speed, she read direction, and then she got the lead out. That is giving Tennessee a lot of momentum right now.
Tennessee is one of the best fielding teams in the country. 5th in fielding percentage. Only 4 errors for the season. And with 2 outs and the runner at first base, here's Madison McIntyre, a 182 hitter for the season for the sophomore first baseman. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Stays high.
I almost feel like that play by Rutan just got the Tennessee fans going a little bit more. You could hear them now through the box up here adding on to those cheers.
McIntyre fouls it off, 2-2. It's a terrific environment always here, undergoing a little bit of renovations around the ballpark. Break-even pitch. McIntyre chases an off-speed pitch down. Strikeout number 4 for Aaron Newer. And just like that, Tennessee taking care of business in the second inning. But now can their offense come through? Middle of the lineup coming up, trailing 1-0. Michaela McLean's leadoff home run has App State in front of number 1 Tennessee 1-0. And the Lady Vols will send the heart of the lineup to the plate after a 1-2-3 inning from Cameron Fisher in the top of the first inning. And it'll be Ella Dodge to lead things off, and Tennessee's lineup will look to get things going along here against the rookie Fisher, one of the 2 pitchers that App State utilizes. That ball squibs up there. Well, one thing that Karen Weekly wanted to see last week was how the team handled a little bit of adversity. And certainly as a coach, you're not necessarily hoping that your team is in a losing position, but you want to see how the group responds in spots like these.
And you want to see it at this point of the season, or before conference play, before you start competing for that championship, and then definitely before you get into that postseason. Because if the first time of the season that you hit adversity happens in the postseason, that doesn't always work out in your favor.
Tennessee gets the 5 games this weekend. Belmont in the midweek, and then it'll be a 3-game home set against LSU to begin SEC play. Dodge trickles one in front of the mound, picked up by Fisher, tosses to first, and she's retired the first 4 of the game.
Once again, Fisher just going to that in and tight against left-handed batters. You saw her do it earlier in the game against Gabby Leach, and then again against Ella Dodge. I do think the conversation for Ella Dodge coming into the dugout with Coach Weekly is if she's going to go for that pitch, she needs to go all out, especially early in the count.
So the freshman from Farragut High School here in Knoxville, Elsa Morrison, digs in. .310 hitter for the year. Morrison with a great college debut. Can't dial it up any better against BYU. 2 for 3, a homer and 5 RBIs. And Fisher, who fell behind frequently in the first inning, is behind yet again here at 2 balls and no strikes.
And as a Tennessee lineup, they should be thinking, she's working from behind the count. I have the advantage. So when I get that pitch over the heart of the plate, because she has to give me a good strike later in the count, that's the pitch that I'm going to be unleashing on.
Pitch hits the outer half here. 2 balls and a strike. Fisher delivers. Morrison smacks a single into left center field for a base hit. Now she's chugging around first, heading to second, and is in there safely with a 1-out double here in the second.
Elsa Morrison executed on this off-speed pitch as best as she could. she kept her hands back once she got to that hitting position, which allowed her to let that ball travel into the zone. And then it's really easy on an off-speed and a changeup to kind of get your bat underneath it because you have to hold and wait. But she stayed on it through extension as long as possible. And then right out the bat, she's looking to go two.
That brings in Mackenzie Butt, and she fouls the first pitch back. Karen Weekly had nothing but high praise for Butt, saying that she's a team player that has evolved in her game, even from a record-setting rookie campaign at Boise State a year ago, where she set the Mountain West rookie record with 22 homers.
Karen Weekly told us that she has had some of the best pinch at-bats she has ever seen. And pinch hitting is one of the hardest things to do in sports, if not the hardest. So for her to be that attentive in the dugout and then come out and have these great at-bats when she hasn't faced these pitchers is why she gets the start today.
And along those lines, too, she said that she's never seen a player evolve when they're injured. Last fall, she had a broken finger, and she was shadow repping while being injured. One-arm swings to try to get prepared for what it would be like once she's healthy. That's a difficult thing to do as an athlete.
It is really difficult because whenever you're injured, you start second-guessing, how long is this going to be? Will I be the same when I come back? And she set herself up to be in the best position when she came back. Karen Weekly said that she was shadow repping down at first, so she was almost playing the game from the side.
3 balls and a strike. Fisher pitches, but swings and misses. Count goes full at 3-2. Already 4 homers and 15 RBIs so far this season. And what a weapon it is for this Tennessee lineup to have one of the great power hitters in the nation sitting in the 6th spot. Runner at second, the payoff pitch. But swings and misses. Fisher dials up her second strikeout, and it's a critical one here for the second out in the second.
Fisher is competing at a very high level right now. Mackenzie Butt came in and hacked away at that first pitch, and she has just moved this pitch further and further out. It almost feels like these past couple pitches has also been the fastest she's thrown because she's competing and going right at these batters.
So with 2 outs, it's on Alana Leach to try to get something done as she takes a ball off the inner half. Leach, 409 hitter for the season, has driven in 4. Trying to make it 5 here to tie the score with App State leading in the second. And as has been the case, Fisher falls behind. 2 balls and no strikes, but it has not deterred her from slowing down this Tennessee offense so far. Fisher's 2-0. Clips the knees, 2-1.
To have the success that Fisher has had thus far with getting behind in the count, if she was getting ahead of the count, I think her strikeout numbers would be even higher because she'd be forcing these batters to swing at her pitcher's pitches.
Now her 2-1. Misses off the plate, and exactly to your point, 3 balls and a strike, and now Fisher has to come with something to entice Leach. Fisher's 3-1. Fouled straight back into the netting. Another full count here to a Tennessee hitter with 2 outs and Morrison out at second base and Tennessee down by a run. A 3-2 coming here from Fisher, and let's see if App State can continue its strong start to the game as that one team, one unit that Whitney Jones wanted to see today. Here's the payoff. Misses off of the glove to the backstop. So Morrison moves to third base. It's a base on balls. Runners at the corners. 2 outs. And the right-handed hitting Emma Clark digging in.
This pitch just got away from Fisher. She wanted to work it up in the zone, obviously a little too high for the catcher to go up and get. Now with runners on the corners, there's more pressure on the defense, more pressure on Cameron Fisher there in the circle. So right about now is where If you're Coach Whitney Jones, you want to see her fight through adversity, and you're putting your freshmen in these moments so later on, when it becomes postseason and your season's on the line, she's well prepared.
You do get a sense, even though it is the second inning, that this is a pretty big moment this weekend for App State. You want to see a young pitcher like Cameron Fisher, and App State only uses 2 pitchers. They have 2 pitchers, and Sophie Moshis pitched earlier today, a complete game in the run roll win against North Carolina Central, and Fisher's your other arm. You need to see her against the number 1 team in the country on the road provide something like this if this group is to make a postseason run this year.
And with their goal of giving their players every opportunity possible this weekend before going into conference play, this is a situation you want to see her in, and that they're definitely going to leave her in to see what she can do with it.
So here comes Emma Clark. Clark, last season, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs in 90 at-bats. 3 homers and 12 driven in 37 at-bats so far this season for the sophomore. Big moment in this game early. App State 1, Tennessee nothing. Clark fouls one off. 1 ball and 1 strike. As important as it is for App State, certainly important for Karen Weekly. This is a pretty young group, number 1 team in the country. Here at home, you want to see situational hitting come into play here in the early portion of the season as well.
And that's what their focus is in practice, is all on that situational hitting. That's Coach Craig Snyder, the hitting coach. His mindset is less about critiquing their swing and more about swing awareness, situational hitting, different counts, and then competing.
Yeah, there's a competitiveness aspect to things in practice. You can't get the live pitching unless you succeed in your situational spots. Fisher does well here. Ahead in the count, 1-2 to Clark. She brings it up there and misses off the plate, 2-2.
And you saw earlier in this at-bat, down third baseline, Coach Weekly telling Emma Clark, giving her the motion to go for it, to swing. Coming into this weekend, Emma Clark was one of those players that Coach Weekly wanted to see play more free and just go for it.
A break even. Clark cocked the leg, but held back, 3-2.
That's a good miss by Cameron Fisher. She works predominantly up, but to give that change of eye level. Now Emma Clark in this 3-2 count knows she can go down, she can go up. It leaves the batter guessing sometimes.
3-2 to a 3rd consecutive hitter. Here it is from Fisher. Clark pops it up. First base side, McIntyre on. It's the catcher, Gore, squeezing it right on the S in the Lady Vols logo. How about that from Cameron Fisher to work out of the jam in the seconds? So App State takes a 1-0 advantage to the 3rd inning as Tennessee strands a pair in the inning. App State back to the dish when we return. Number 1 ranked Tennessee is off to its best start since 2014. But they trail App State in the first of this 5-game weekend in the Tennessee Invitational 1-0. Michael Watring, Riley West, and our team with you here on the SEC Network. Riley, what have you seen so far through the first couple innings of this game?
I've seen App State attack and go for it, starting with Michaela McLean, that first inning bomb, but it started with her swings early in the count. Coach Jones told us coming into this weekend that once they have the momentum, their goal is to keep the momentum, and I think that's exactly what they're doing right now.
Julia Girk bounces the first pitch of the third inning to Rutan at third, and a nice play there yet again by the senior, and with 1 out and nobody on, that brings Michaela McLean to the plate. McLean, 15th in the country at home runs, entering the weekend, and launched a 3-2 pitch off of the jerseys and left. Well, McLean, known for her power hitting prowess, she had 2 grand slams in the first 3 innings against Columbia 14 days ago, had 8 RBIs, a program record in that game. Takes this 2-0. To put that in perspective, it ties an NCAA record for grand slams in a single game. In fact, there's 3 players that have hit 2 grand slams in the same inning. She slashes this into center field, but right in the tracks of Knight for the out. But I'll tell you what, Michaela McLean impressing here in her first 2 at-bats.
She is seeing the ball very well right now, and you can tell because of her pitch selection and the pitches that she is swinging at. And then once she puts a swing on a ball, she is not afraid of where the ball goes. She is just trying to hit it hard.
2 outs, nobody on. Grace Barrett digs in. She takes inside for a ball. This is the first time in the game that Newer has retired the first 2 batters of an inning. Here's Newer's 1-0. That's on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, these 2 programs off to great starts for App State. 12-2 now to begin the year, the best start in program history. Bouncing ball, picked up by Morrison, throws on the run, and retires the side. That is an efficient inning for Erin Newer. Takes less than 3.5 minutes to get through the inning, but now can Tennessee's lineup get rolling? Lady Vols trailed by a run as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here in the Tennessee Invitational on Rocky Top. Maddie Rutan is the only player that has not had a plate appearance so far in this game as she leads off the bottom of the 3rd inning for Tennessee as App State leads it 1-0. Riley, you've seen Cameron Fisher through 42 pitches so far. If you're in the Tennessee dugout, what's your plan of attack at the plate?
My plan is to attack early in the count, and because Cameron Fisher has gotten behind in the count early for most of these batters, therefore she's forced to then go after them 1-0, 2-0, and even 3-0. So you need to be ready for it as soon as she gives you that first good pitch. And then on top of being ready for it, putting a good swing on the ball. A lot of these first pitches that they have swung at have been foul balls, or it doesn't seem like they're fully going for it, fully letting go, which is exactly what Coach Karen Weekly wants to see them do.
Rutan, a transfer from Eastern Kentucky. She's actually the ASUN Pitcher of the Year in 2024. Hit 13 homers a year ago. Swings and misses on this pitch, and the count evens here at a ball and a strike. Tennessee looking to get something going in the lineup after Fisher retired the first 4 of the game. She stranded runners at the corners during a 25-pitch second.
Even with that swing from Maddie Rutan, it almost seemed like she was late or second-guessing it as she started to swing. When you're a batter and you're on deck in the circle waiting to be the next batter up, that's when you should be getting your timing. And especially for Rutan being at the bottom of the lineup, she has seen Cameron Fisher work from behind, so she just needs to be a little bit more on time, especially with that first swing.
Lays off of this pitch that stays up in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tennessee trying to get something going here. One of the 5 remaining undefeated teams in the country, and Rutan strikes out swinging. That is 3 strikeouts in this game, and the leadoff batter retired here in the 3rd.
Cameron Fisher, I think, is getting better every single inning. She's starting to work ahead. And like we mentioned earlier, she is an up ball pitcher, so she has to get ahead to then go to it. She enticed Maddie Rutan through the first 2 strikes with the pitch right at the belt, and then is able to go up to the letters for the strikeout.
1 up, 1 down. Sophia Knight stands in. She grounded out to second base in her lone at bat so far in this game. And the corner infielders will play tight against Knight. A slap hitter that can pepper the ball around the park. (2-0) here tonight. Entered the weekend as one of the best hitters in the country. Only Kai Minert of Oklahoma had a higher batting average entering this weekend in the SEC.
And that's a testament to all the tools that Sophia Knight has. She can play small ball, she can even swing away, poke it to the outfield. And in between every single at bat or every single pitch, you can see her step out the box, take a look at the defense, and her job is to see a lot of pitches and then find a hole and place the ball there.
And she draws a walk. She scored a run in 9 consecutive games and gives the Lady Vols a 1-out base runner here in the 3rd.
Sophia Knight, just a great at-bat, great eye, doing her job, like I mentioned, of seeing as many pitches as possible. For Cameron Fisher, she just has to attack, go right at these batters, and it's always about the next at-bat, the next batter. So if she can go right at Gabby Leach, she'll put herself in a good spot.
First pitch from Fisher stays high. 1-0 the count, and every pitch so far out of the zone. From Fisher in this inning, Leach was a strikeout victim back in the 1st.
You can see Taylor Schaefer, a couple of the infielders, going to talk to Cameron Fisher, and now Leah Gore behind the plate. Definitely something I would do if I was catching right now. She doesn't seem to be pitching as hard, and her misses are a little bit more off the plate, so definitely a little bit more thoughts going on in her head right now. Just needs to take a deep breath. She's doing great. Just work ahead, get a ground ball for your team to get an out.
Spoken like a former catcher there. Very observant of what's happening around you at all times.
Definitely. That was a great decision by Leah Gore. I felt it up here. That means she can definitely feel it down there. And as a freshman pitcher, Cameron Fisher, Leah Gore just needs to be there for her. And sometimes all they need is a break in between the timing of everything.
So the first 6 pitches of the inning have been out of the zone. A 2-0 here to Leach. Swings and misses. Knight takes off. Throw down to second. She sneaks in there before the tag is applied, and that is the 11th stolen base of the season for Knight.
Knight, just a great jump. And Leah Gore behind the plate, not a bad throw. Sophia Knight just has some untouchable speed at times. Her jersey over there might have been unbuttoned on that slide. Had to go to Coach Stephanie Sanders to get it buttoned up and all fixed up right.
Two balls and a strike. Fisher turns it loose. Leach fouls back. Well, that mound visit works out well. Back-to-back pitches for strikes and right back in the count for Fisher.
And as a freshman, sometimes the game starts to move a little faster. You speed it up in your mind. So Leah Gore taking that break to talk to her definitely made it come more into perspective of she's doing great. She just needs to attack these batters.
Karen Weekly calls for time. Gabby Leach to have a word as well with Craig Snyder, second season. And Karen Weekly talked about they had Chris Malveaux here a couple of years ago, and that's a much different mindset that you have to take into account from him to Craig Snyder. So some of these hitters, and herself in particular, have to adjust on the fly with the mindset inside of the batter's box.
Absolutely. Going from Coach Chris Malveaux, where he focused on your swing, to Coach Craig Snyder, which is basically all approach based, it's going to take a little bit of an adjustment, and you can see that between the numbers from last year to this year and how much this team has bought into Coach Craig Snyder's philosophy.
Leach takes high, and another full count. Have not been lacking those at all.
During that meeting with Coach Weekly and Coach Snyder, you could see them both point to the upper part of the zone, probably telling Gabby Leach to settle in and look for the lower part.
Leach lasers a ball down the right field line, but foul. This is the fifth batter in this game that Fisher has gone to a 3-2 count. One out, one on. Payoff pitch again. Leach skies it on the infield, now into the outfield grass. Backpedaling is McLean. She puts a squeeze on it and gets a big second out. And Fisher, after throwing the first 6 pitches to Knight and Leach after the lineup flipped over, she gets this pop out.
That is a really clutch out for Fisher there. You could tell the momentum was starting to flip with Sophia Knight getting on, getting into scoring position, and then to induce a pop-up. Also a great play by McLean there. It's always hard to go backwards for a ball up.
Well, how about that? Smothers right back to her. Fisher gobbles it up and throws out Holly to end the inning. And Tennessee strands a runner in scoring position for a second consecutive inning. Excellent reflexes.
Look at this. She even ducks below the ball but gets a glove on it, and that's sometimes all you need from Cameron Fisher there in the circle. There she is firing up her team as well.
Well, everything flowing right now for App State, looking to upset the #1 team in the country. 1-0 the advantage as we go to the fourth. Aaron Neuer threw 7 pitches in the 3rd inning. Steamrolled this App State lineup for the first time today, retiring the side in order. But her team trails 1-0. Michaela McLean's solo home run to lead off the game is the difference. And Taylor Schaefer leads off for App State. And she pops the first pitch foul and back. And Whitney Jones was talking with us when we spoke with her the other day about becoming a head coach. She felt like taking this App State job really validated that this was what she wanted to do. Called App State a dream job, a new facility in terms of a hitting complex, a video board, a new stadium as well. And she just loves the idea of developing young women. She's always worked for great coaches. Wanted to see what she would be like as a head coach, and has been fortunate to have this. And they use the phrase, let's put App on the map. And this could certainly be the start of that. Hard hit ground ball underneath the glove of Morrison and scoots into left field. And Schaefer is aboard to lead off the 4th.
Schaefer from the beginning of this at-bat was attacking every single pitch with an amazing swing. This one, she stays inside out. That's on the inside part of the plate. Elsa Morrison, this is her first game of the year at shortstop, goes to the knees a little bit early. I think she could stay on her feet, potentially make that play, but either way, that is a tough play to make and a great swing by Taylor Schaefer with that bat speed.
Officially ruled as a base hit. And now Fletcher fouls off the first pitch. So Neuer had given up just 3 hits all season. And she has now given up 2 to this App State group that is 1-16 against top 25 competition since 2019.
And 2 hits might seem like nothing for other teams, but for this Tennessee team, when you're playing behind a pitcher who doesn't give many hits up, this can kind of be a mental battle for you of, is everything okay, and second guess your game plan or what's going on and make you tense up when you're playing a little bit more.
0-2. Just misses the outer half. A ball and 2 strikes. Well, if you go back to 2001, App State has never beaten an SEC team. 0-38 all time. But here they sit in the middle innings of this game with a 1-0 edge. The 1-2. Fletcher smacks it off the ground, foul.
Although Fletcher is behind in this count, she is fouling off these borderline pitches, which is really hard to do because Aaron Neuer goes up with that off-speed rise and then has an off-speed that takes even more miles per hour off of it. So she's able to touch every single zone right now, and Fletcher, all she has to do is foul it off and just continue to work with this count.
Has the ability to range from the upper 40s to the upper 60s. That is a challenge for any hitter. Break even. Fletcher way out in front. Neuer pulls the string and gets her 5th punch out.
And there she goes to the 40-mile-per-hour zone with that changeup low in the zone, almost untouchable. That's filthy. That's unfair, Michael.
First out of the inning, runner at first base. And now Leah Gore popped out to short, her only time up. Neuer spins the first pitch in there for a strike. Neuer has recorded a decision in all of her 7 outings this season, 6 wins and a save so far on the year. Gore rifles one foul off of third. Rutan dove after it, but watched it sneak past her.
In this at-bat for Gore, it almost seems like she's sitting that off-speed pitch. Barely was foul, but she took that hard fastball first pitch of the count, and then she seemed even more on time for the off-speed. So definitely looking to see if she's sitting a pitch throughout this at-bat.
Here's the 0-2. That misses outside. Karen Weekly told us last week that there was a moment after a game in which she didn't feel like they played at their level of expectation. But she was very pleased by how the team responded in the post-game huddle. The 1-2. foul ball. It wasn't the attitude sometimes you get with athletes of, all right, coach is going to roast us. We didn't play that well. Let's move on. Let's go get our food. She felt that the team knew that they didn't play up to their performance. The seniors, the leaders, they all addressed it within the group, and they were not pleased.
And that's why teams are elite. That's why Tennessee is undefeated right now, because player-led teams are the most elite teams. That means the players are the ones holding each other accountable. You respond better to your peers than you will your coach. And so when they're holding to each other the standards, they'll reach different levels.
Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball. Neuer gobbles it up. Throws to second to Dodge for one. The turnover to first base is not in time, so the inning will extend.
If you're Aaron Neuer, this is exactly what you're looking for in this situation. A ball back to you, no hesitation, goes to second, gets the lead out. But that hesitation by Ella Dodge trying to get the grip of the ball prevented them from getting the double play and getting out of this inning.
So here is Emily Ching. Drew a walk in her only plate appearance so far and hits this one out to Dodge. And that one skips underneath her glove and into right field. To second base, just getting back before the throw comes in from Leach. Gore, and for the first time today, App State has a runner in scoring position.
Just uncharacteristic by Ella Dodge there at second base, and she just had hesitated trying to turn that double play at second, so she's a little bit in her head. Moving to her left, trying to field this ball, just sneaks under her glove. But here's Coach Karen Weekly calling this timeout, getting them on the same page. Now for App State, that's something that they could got an extra base and move potentially two runners into scoring position. So you could see Coach Jones trying to send them, but they were unaware that Ella Dodge at second had missed the ball. But I always say 2 outs, 2 bases. So until your coach holds you up during those 2 outs, you just keep going until she stops you.
Funny how this game works. You bobble a ball initially, and then the very next pitch, it comes and finds you yet again. And Dodge had a chance to make up for it, cannot do so. Out with a group, and runners at first and second now at 2 outs.
As softball players, you always say it. The ball's going to find you, especially when you've made either a mental error or a legitimate error. You should expect it the next play.
So we get a Summer Simpson to stand in here as well. A really good play by Rutan, the first time that she was up to get the lead runner at second base. And Simpson trying to bust out of her 0 for 15 slump, which she ended last year on such a high note. Hits in 6 of her final 8 of the year. Two strikes and nothing, quickly ahead here.
Aaron Neuer is just moving quick and efficiently right now. She's kind of putting the team on her back, like, follow me, I'm going right at these batters. So when her teammates are in the box, they're going right at the opposing pitcher. And here she is 0-2, just working at a really fast pace.
And here is that 0-2. Well off the plate. Tennessee's offense has been limited to just 1 hit in this game. They have stranded a runner in scoring position in each of the last 2 innings, and the #1 team in the nation trails 1-0. Simpson dribbles a ball. Rutan fires in time by a half a step to get the out, and App State immediately appealing that they're going to want to use one of their challenges.
If I was App State, I would definitely be using a challenge on this as well. The corners are back with 2 outs. It's a very close play. Hard to tell from our angle, but Rutan coming in on the ball, throwing on the run. I don't know, she might be safe. I think this is a good decision to challenge this play.
And a reminder as well, there are stationary cameras around this facility that we do not have access to during the game for our production purposes, that these umpires have an opportunity to take a look at. So they have the access to the stationary cameras that are available, that are designated right on each base. It's called Hawkeye, and we do have that to take a look at. And here it is.
Looking for Simpson, the batter, to see if she touches the front part of the bag. It's hard to tell if her foot is completely on it as the ball is hitting Mackenzie Butt's glove. This could potentially be a tie. I don't know which way this is going to go.
And a reminder, the call on the field was out. So we will need to see something specific, something conclusive to overturn that call. And this might help us.
The evidence has to be undoubtable to overturn that call. And it's really hard to tell if it's in Mackenzie Butt's glove just because of the angle. Here's another angle. Again, hard to tell. Might not be able to overturn it because of how close it is, but the batter Simpson stepping on the front of the bag is essential in this point of the game because it's by inches. Everything's by inches.
And remember, it's when the ball enters the glove, not necessarily when it makes exact contact with the glove.
Now on her foot, her left foot, it's not moving very much once she's kind of hovering over the orange bag, right as the ball is entering Butt's glove. From this angle, as close as we are and where Simpson's foot is touching, I think it potentially could be overturned.
Well, think about how big of a call this is going to be. It could be bases loaded for App State, or it could be out of the inning for Tennessee. So the ruling on the field stands. Rutan gets there just in time. No evidence to showcase anything else. And 2 runners are left aboard for App State in the inning. Tough break for App State in this one. And let's see how that one comes back in this game. The visitors have the advantage, looking for their first win ever against a #1 team in the country. Tennessee's heart of the lineup comes to the plate when we return. First time this season, Knoxville has seen softball here. And the #1 team in the country trails App State 1-0 in this matchup. Michael Watchring, Riley West, and our entire crew for the 12th all-time meeting between these two programs. And Cameron Fisher has done her duty so far. She has stranded 3 in the last 2 innings and has a 1-0 edge. And the first pitch swinging, Ella Dodge rolls it into right field for a base hit. And Tennessee has the leadoff batter aboard for the first time in the game.
Coach Weekly told us that Ella Dodge is one of those prominent leaders on this team, and this is how you lead, especially lead by example in a close ball game. You attack early, which is their game plan, attack Cameron Fisher early and drive a pitch, letting go when you swing, and that's exactly what she did to that ball.
Tennessee 11-0 all-time against App State. They have outscored this program 71-1 entering the day. First pitch swinging, Morrison fouls off. The only time that App State had scored a run prior to today was also when Tennessee was the #1 team in the country. That was in Game 2 of a doubleheader back in 2007. They would lose that game 7-1. This is one of the 9 teams that Tennessee has at least 11 wins against without a loss, but trailing 1-0. This ball is popped foul by Morrison. Tennessee 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position in the game so far. And looking for one of those patented Tennessee big innings, as Fisher has been able to keep them off balance the first time through the lineup. Hard hit liner right to short. Barrett snatches. And back to first base. Dodge climbs back.
Elsa Morrison, 2 at-bats, 2 great swings on the ball. This one doesn't get through. Right to Grace Barrett there at shortstop, but she's just so level, so on time with this ball. And then Ella Dodge there at first base. Good base running, freezing, going back. Cameron Fisher, this inning, she has started ahead. She has gone ahead with those strikes early in the count, but it almost seems like Tennessee's adjusting at the same time by attacking those pitches early.
So here's Mackenzie Butt, struck out, swinging back in the second inning. An impressive performance so far from Cameron Fisher. What an introduction it has been to college softball. Had 1,243 strikeouts as a high schooler. And gets ahead of Butt at 0-2 here.
Cameron Fisher really living on that inside part of the zone to righties, making it really tough for them to get their barrel through the zone and hit it hard. And now she's even more effective because she's working it early and the at-bat is in her hands.
Here's the 0-2. Butt fouls. Well, for Fisher, the long ball has been what has plagued her of late. Gave up 5 in the last 3, including 3 to Princeton after giving up just 1 in the first 8 games of the year. Has kept this Tennessee squad at bay so far. Dodge at first base. Fisher pitches and Butt spoils another one.
But just a great at-bat, getting behind early in the count, then fouling pitches that are close to the zone off. Cameron Fisher can just move it out even more. She's ahead 0-2. Put it in the other batter's box. See if Butt goes after it.
Fisher's 0-2. Butt stays off of it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tennessee fans waiting to explode. The 1-2, but spoils another one. And a good sequence going here.
A good sequence from Cameron Fisher. Now she's working that up pitch even more. And then Mackenzie Butt fouling off anything close to the zone. You can tell she has that hitter's mentality. She's not letting anything go by that's close right now.
Pitch number 7 of the sequence. Butt swings and misses. Second time today she's been retired by a strikeout. It's the 4th of the game for Fisher. And she's got 2 outs after the leadoff single.
Cameron Fisher just going even more inside, and you can see that late break right under the letters of Mackenzie Butt. Cameron Fisher is getting better and better throughout this game. She's now starting to work early, so therefore, when she gets into pitcher's counts, she's able to go to that rise ball, which is her best pitch.
So with 2 outs and Dodge still at first, here's Alana Leach, drew a walk in her lone plate appearance. Runner takes off, Dodge hustles to second, tag on the backside of Dodge, in time to get the out and end the inning.
App State has all the momentum right now, and it's because of plays like this, getting those extra outs. Leah Gore just absolutely firing it down, and then Grace Barrett being athletic, doing a complete rollover to get the out.
Athleticism from App State. Tennessee debating on challenging. And they indeed will take a look at this. That is an athletic play, though, by Barrett to come across the bag, get the tag down, and hold on to the ball after the tag as well. All in one motion. And the top half of this inning ended on a review with a play standing at first base. And now App State hopes that the play will stand to end this inning and get out of the frame.
I had a feeling that Tennessee was going to steal on that play because Lana Leach stepped into the box. So you have a left-handed batter with Leah Gore catching. Ella Dodge, her leads weren't convincing that she was going to go, so I knew as soon as she was blocked by the catcher or by the batter, she was going to take that opportunity to go. But Leah Gore just quick transition, spot on throw, athleticism all around.
App State believes that they have it based on what they saw on the video board. And now here comes the official ruling. Here's a look at it. Yep.
Yeah, she looks.
Ruling on the field confirmed. And the inning is over. App State is doing it all right now. 4 innings down. And as we go to the 5th, App State leads number 1 Tennessee 1-0 as we come back to Rocky Top in a moment.
David Ford. David wins $115 gift card, courtesy of Custom Fried Chicken. Fans, get up your feet and get loud because it's time for the T-shirt call. Brought to you by the Lady Golf T-shirt Club. Get up and get loud for a free T-shirt.
Appalachian State looking for the biggest win in its program's history. Their only top 25 win over the last 6 years was at 23rd ranked Louisiana back in March of 2023. They've lost 9 in a row against top 25 teams, but they lead the unanimous number 1 team in the nation 1-0 in the 5th. Madison McIntyre swings at the first pitch and fouls it off for strike 1. Aaron Newer came in having given up 3 hits all year, 0 runs in the last 26 1/3 dating back to a year ago. And yet here we are, App State 1 on the Michaela McLean solo home run to lead off the game. Michael Watchring, Riley West, and our team with you for our matchup today. Bouncing ball to first, but picks, steps on the bag, and there's 1 out.
Aaron Newer just working efficiently as this game goes on, works the ball into McIntyre, just gets her to roll over it, and then good defense by Mackenzie Butt there at first to stay down. Even sometimes with a chopper, with the sun in your eyes, that can be a tough play.
1 out, nobody on. Julia Girk digs in. Takes a little bit up in the zone. What's the mindset of a Tennessee player now? Number 1 in the country, haven't been able to get anything going, and App State gaining momentum by the moment.
When you're ranked number 1 in the country, other teams look at you and might not think that it's as tough to be number 1. But once you're number 1, you put more pressure on yourself. And as much as Coach Weekly told us they try not to talk about it, or they do talk about it and acknowledge it, but try not to feed into all of the things that the media are talking about, it can still add some pressure to every individual.
Girk slashes a single into left field for a base hit, and the 9-hole batter gets aboard to flip the lineup over for one of the top power hitters in the country with 8 homers this season, Michaela McLean.
Girk just letting that outside pitch travel later into the zone and then hitting it off that front foot, inside of that front foot, driving it to left field. Now you have speed on first, your best hitter in the box. More added pressure to Tennessee right now.
McLean digging in. That leadoff homer in the first still stands as the difference in the game. Whitney Jones called McLean an ultimate competitor. Wants things to be tough. Can work through swings and misses. And in this game, she has the home run and also crushed a ball to center for an out. That's her worst swing of the day. Throw down to second base. Not in time. Girk swipes second as App State looks for some insurance here.
Girk just perfect timing coming off the base. And this was a tougher throw for Emma Clark behind the plate because it was an off-speed pitch by Erin Newer, so she had to let the ball travel. That gave Girk just enough time to get to second.
Karen Weekly is going to challenge whether or not the runner left early from first base.
An interesting challenge being the 5th inning. Have a few more innings. It's a close ball game. You can kind of tell that Coach Weekly sees this is going to be a close ball game throughout. So anything that she sees, she's calling that challenge.
So they're going to have to take a look and see whether or not she left early from first base. Tennessee, remember, they've given up 5 runs all season long entering this game. They haven't given up more than 1 run in any game at all this year. Here's a good side-by-side look to see if indeed Girk did leave on time or early.
Yep, she did seem to leave early. The ball is not out of Erin Newer's hand. She already has that left foot off the bag. So remember this year when you challenge as a coach, if it's overturned, you get to keep that challenge. So Karen Weekly doing what needs to be done in a close ball game, she's going to be able to keep that challenge if it goes the way we think it will.
Fans reacting to what they saw on the video board, believing that Girk did indeed leave early.
And this is a big-time call, big-time play, because you have your best batter up if you're App State. You have a runner in scoring position. Michaela McLean has seen the ball well the whole day, so she could poke something into the gap, and with the speed of Girk, that's another run in this close ball game.
Here comes the official call. Umpires speaking back and forth. And now we'll get the official word here from Bobby DeMeo. So the ruling changed. Runner leaves early, and it is a second out here in this inning. 1 ball and no strikes, the count to McLean.
And now with that rule change, when you get that challenge back, it's a completely different ball game. You don't have to wait and keep on or hold on to that challenge for the later innings if you're pretty confident that you'll be able to keep it from an overturned call.
That's a massive moment in this game now as well. Newer deals with McLean, and time called. Off the plate here. The Sunbelt's leader in RBIs per game. Has 1 already on the day. 2 balls and no strikes. Newer turns it loose. That's in there for a strike, 2-1.
McLean all day has attacked early in the count. So Erin Newer behind in the count right now, you know McLean is hunting. That long ball she hit earlier in the first inning was an up ball, so that's what she's looking. Erin Newer needs to keep the ball down.
Chops this towards Newer. The pitcher fields her position and retires McLean to end the inning. What once looked like a promising frame for App State ends up being the side retired with the minimum stepping to the dish. Newer fields her position And App State continues to lead. Can Tennessee's bats come alive? Trailing App State 1-0 through 4.5. Tennessee trails Appalachian State 1-0. Coming to the plate in the bottom of the 5th inning will be the lower third in the lineup. Alana Leach will start things off for Tennessee. Alongside Riley West, I'm Michael Watring with our crew here in Knoxville. Great to have you with us. Riley, how does Tennessee get the bats rolling?
They have to attack early, and you could see that last inning with Ella Dodge, Elsa Morrison, just attacking the first good pitch they see over the plate. Cameron Fisher is showing us today that she is an elite pitcher, being able to shut this offense down. And elite pitchers, once they get ahead, your batting average drops way below 100. So Cameron Fisher just continues to attack, and Tennessee has to attack her first best pitch they see.
1 strike and nothing. Leach slaps one. Third base side, takes an awkward spin past Schaefer. Base hit for Leach. That was a tough play. When she didn't catch it in the air, it took a tough spin.
Cameron Fisher, great pitch jamming Alana Leach. This is always going to be a tough play coming off a left-hander's bat with the spin going towards that left field line. So third baseman Taylor Schaefer either comes up, got to dive for it, or knowing she has to play that spin. But for Tennessee, a base runner is a base runner at this point, and they're just trying to get something going.
Zoe Schuler also pinch runs at first base now for Tennessee. So she replaces Leach on the base paths, representing what stands right now as the tying run. And Emma Clark digs in, popped out to the catcher. Stranding 2 runners on, back in the second. Squares the bunt and bunts it foul. And Karen Weekly told us when we spoke with her, what do you need to improve? And rather than give us coach speak, which some might, we got to get better at everything, she pointed right at bunting. We were going to work on it all week long, and here it comes into play in game 1 of 5 this weekend.
Tennessee tries to hit situationally, so having that tool in your box of bunting is essential to move a runner over so then the next batter can do their job as well. Emma Clark, knowing Cameron Fisher is an up ball pitcher, has to think to try and bunt the top half of the ball straight into the ground. If I'm Emma Clark, I'm going to fail aggressively, right? I'm going to try and bunt over the ball to prevent that spin and it popping up.
Clark bunts it in the air, back to the pitcher. Fisher catches. The second baseman, McLean, was even with a base runner, and Clark does not get the bunt out.
If you're Cameron Fisher, you're saying thank you right now to Emma Clark. You're an up ball pitcher, so it's harder to bunt your ball as well. But then not even having to field it and make a throw, just an easy pop up to Fisher. Knowing a team is trying to bunt the ball and to continue to throw up, that's really good from the freshman.
McIntyre was crashing. McLean was behind, so they didn't get a chance to get the double play. Rutan steps in and chases the first pitch for strike 1. She struck out swinging in her lone at bat so far today. Tennessee has left 3 aboard in the game. They're 0 for 7 with runners on base, 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. And time called here. Karen Weekly having a chat with Rutan.
I can imagine Karen Weekly is telling Rutan to get her front foot down early and to be on time. Her strikeout in her previous at-bat and then this first swing of this at-bat, she's been late. Cameron Fisher, she's starting these righties on the inside part of the plate, so you have to catch the ball even more out in front. So Rutan has to get that front foot down earlier to give herself a chance.
The Eastern Kentucky transfer in her Tennessee home debut. Rutan fouls it off, slightly behind that pitch. Fisher coming right at her. 2 strikes and nothing.
Cameron Fisher being ahead, like we've said, she's gotten better at this throughout the game. Now she's able to go to her pitcher's pitches, and we've seen that be that rise ball. So Rutan really has to foul off any pitch that's close, and Cameron Fisher has the advantage.
Rutan sticks the bat out there, just does get a piece to hang around. Well, it might be the end of February, but this game has all the makings of a feeling of a regional type atmosphere here. 1-0 App State. McLean's leadoff homer in the first still stands up for App State against the consensus #1 team in the nation. Fisher's 0-2. Rutan lays off of this one just high.
Michael, you mentioned this feels like a regional, and that's something we talked to Coach Whitney Jones about, of what does a tournament like this do in the preseason for you, and she said it prepares you for postseason, giving her girls this opportunity. When they get in these situations later in the year, they know that they can fight through them.
The 1-2. Rutan stays around, just does get the barrel out there to poke it back.
Rutan doing anything she can in this at-bat to put her bat on the ball. Even asking the umpire right now, was that a strike? Would that be called a strike? Getting more information so she knows how she can work this count better.
Fisher turns it loose. Rutan skies it. Shallow center, racing on, losing it in the sun. It bounces off of Girk. The left fielder, Simpson, picks it up and throws out Schuler at second base. So that will work. 8-7-6 on the fielder's choice putout.
Great pitch by Cameron Fisher to induce a pop-up, but it's always a tough play when Girk is running in from center field at full speed. Almost looks like she overruns it, but then Summer Simpson there in left field to be right there to help field the ball, get that lead out. App State's playing collectively and they're playing together, and that's exactly what Whitney Jones wanted to see. Even though there was a mistake, there was another player there to pick them up and help them out.
Correction, it was 8-7-4 on the putout. Second baseman McLean at second. And with 2 outs, and now Rutan at first base. Sophia Knight coming to the plate. And Fisher with a meeting with her head coach, Whitney Jones, chats things over here. And she has dealt with damage potential all game. First inning, 1-2-3, clean inning. Then runners at first and third after a 1-out double in the second, stranded them. Leadoff, or a 1-out walk and a stolen base in the third. Stranded Knight at second base. A leadoff base hit in the fourth, worked around that to face the minimum. A leadoff base hit here in the fifth, and now trying to strand that over at first base. Knight digs in. The SEC Player of the Week takes ball 1.
You mentioned all the adversity that she's had to go through this game. Runners on base, a lot of moving pieces, but the composure that Cameron Fisher has shown through this game and to work through every count, even if she's starting behind, is beyond impressive right now, especially going against the #1 team in the country. We even saw her laughing with Coach Jones when she called that timeout right now. So Cameron Fisher is working her stuff and she's working through adversity, and it's something that you love to see.
Here's the 1-1. Knight takes off the plate. Runner takes off for second, swims into the bag. Rutan swipes her second base of the season and puts herself in scoring position.
Catcher Leah Gore was a bit late, almost as if she didn't hear that there was a runner going. Another left-handed batter in the box blocks her from potentially seeding that lead off or that start to that stolen base. So just a little bit behind, but now Tennessee has a runner in scoring position.
Sounded like it clipped Knight. Indeed it did, and it caught Gore as well. The redirect, Gore unable to react to it, and she's down behind the plates. And the sophomore catcher.
Yeah, it gets Sophia Knight there on her forearm, but it seems to have hit Gore on her throwing arm. She's down there with Coach Jones, an athletic trainer, looking at it, walking around, moving her hand. Sometimes when the pitch is coming in fast with Cameron Fisher's speed, ricochets off Sophia Knight and then gets her. It might sting a little bit, might take a little bit of time to get that feeling back in her fingers.
And there's that natural reaction, too, when you're getting up to try to get your arm across, and I think it might have hit her in the right forearm, right elbow area.
See it again right here. Yeah, it looks like it ricocheted on the upper arm, her throwing arm. She was down for a bit, but now she's up talking to Coach Jones. Looks like she's going to be all right. Yeah, there she is pointing to her upper arm. And now she's laughing. So it seems like everything's all right. Sometimes it just stings a bit.
Gore gets her fair amount of time to ensure that she is indeed okay. And we'll throw back and forth with her pitcher here for a moment. App State looking to pull off maybe the upset of the year so far in Division I softball.
And coming into this, Coach Jones told us that last year her team learned how to win, and now they expect to win. And this year their motto is #OTM on the map, putting App State on the map.
2 outs, 2 on. Gabby Leach stands in. She's 0 for 2. Fisher starts this sequence with a ball just down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Another key moment for Fisher. The rookie delivers. She's fallen into a 2-0 hole. Well, after she had gone to 3-ball counts 5 times in the first couple innings, she has not gone that deep into a count since the 3rd.
And when you're facing an elite lineup like Tennessee, getting behind an account, that's something that eventually they're going to get used to, and then they're going to be able to barrel up a ball. So right now, Cameron Fisher just needs to get back into this count, chip away 1 by 1, not give Gabby Leach something too much over the plate with this runners in scoring position.
3-0 the count. Here to Gabby Leach. And takes ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to load the bases for the Lady Vols here in the 5th, down by a run.
Hitting now for Tennessee, designated player number 27, Bailey.
And this is sometimes as a freshman pitcher, Cameron Fisher, where you can feel the momentum starting to shift. Then you throw 4 balls in a row. The fans are starting to get a little bit more rowdy, but if you're Coach Jones for App State, this is really the situation you want to see your freshman in and to bear down and get an out.
Taylon Holly hammers the first pitch foul. Bases loaded, 2 outs on the road against the #1 team in the nation. The freshman Fisher working here against another fellow rookie at Holly. Fisher turns it loose. Pitch just drifts outside. Gore couldn't keep it in there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tennessee, another prime opportunity.
And if you're Tay Holly right now, the pressure's on the pitcher. She has got to give you a pitch over the plate.
2-1. can feel the fizz of the fans here, waiting to blow the top off. 2-1. Holly slashes another ball foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This is something that you've seen throughout the game with this Tennessee lineup, is a lot of foul balls and a lot of foul balls to the opposite side, meaning that they're late. This should give Cameron Fisher, the pitcher, confidence that she's worked her way back into this count. The count's even, but it almost feels like she has the advantage with Tay Holly being late.
Been an eventful inning. Leadoff single, a drop fly ball in center that ended as a fielder's choice, a hit batter, a walk. And with the bases loaded, Fisher's 3-1. Holly fouls another ball off. Count is full at 3-2. The runners will get a head start. And with 2 outs, Tennessee looks to take the advantage with a base hit here.
Right now, the runners are on the move. They are going on this pitch. So the defense should know that, stay grounded, stay at your position, and just try and get an out.
Fisher's payoff stays high. Tennessee ties the game on a bases loaded walk. We're level at 1 here in the 5th.
And sometimes it doesn't take the big hit to score a run. Sometimes it just takes some discipline, which is one of Tennessee's standards. That was a freshman on freshman battle right there with Tay Holly and Cameron Fisher. And at the end of the day, the more composed freshman during that at bat 1 with Tay Holly there at first base. Now the fans are on their feet. Feels like the momentum has shifted towards Tennessee's side. But App State is still very much in this game if they can just get 1 out.
Fisher pitches, Dodge takes. In the last 15 2/3 inning, entering the day, Fisher had only allowed 3 walks. Today, she has walked 4 and hit a batter. And free passes to 3 straight. Dodge fouls one back, 1-1, but those free passes have allowed Tennessee to level the scoring at a run apiece here in the 5th.
And Coach Jones said that with a freshman pitcher, there's always going to be a learning curve. And I think this is a learning experience for Cameron Fisher, that she has amazing stuff and she is able to compete with the #1 team in the country. It's just a matter of getting ahead, getting outs when they're needed, not falling behind in counts and giving up those free bases.
I think they called an illegal pitch because it's 2-0 now. And I believe before that, Michael Thibodeau had told Fisher that she had been leaning a little bit away from the rubber out there, so gave her the warning and then officially called it. And it's 3 balls and no strikes to the Tennessee cleanup hitter. 3-0. Stays low. 3 straight walks. Tennessee leads 2-1.
Once again, I mentioned it last at bat, it does not take a big hit, especially when you see a freshman on the mound struggling there with Cameron Fisher. You're going to see a pitching change right now, which I think is the right decision. She's not attacking the zone as much, but if you're Cameron Fisher, you have to look back at this game and look at how successful you were against such an elite offense. And they didn't knock her out the game. In a way, she didn't continue to attack, and that's what's taking her out of this game. But her stuff, when it's on, it's working, so Cameron Fisher should be really proud of what she was able to bring out there today.
A valiant performance from Fisher, but she has to give way now. An 8th batter will come to the plate in a 2-run 5th inning. Bases loaded, 2 out for Tennessee, and Sophie Mosius will come in for App State when we return.
Number 0, Sophia Mosius.
Appalachian State carried a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the 5th inning. With 2 outs and 2 on, Tennessee drew a hit-by pitch and 3 straight walks to take its first lead of the day. And with a 2-1 advantage, bases loaded and 2 outs, Whitney Jones turns the ball over to Sophie Mosius, who went 5 shutout innings in a 9-0 run rule win against North Carolina Central earlier today. And here's Elsa Morrison, the freshman, digs in. Mosius starts her, and Morrison mashes the ball to center field over the glove of Kirk, off the base of the fence that clears the bases. All 3 runners come in. Morrison blows the doors off of this thing here at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium. 5-1 Lady Vols.
Elsa Morrison, the freshman, getting it done, and that's because she didn't wait to see a pitch when the new pitcher came in. She attacked the first pitch over the zone. It was an off-speed pitch, so she once again gets in hit by keeping her hands back longer and then played off the wall. Left and right fielders don't crash, so therefore all the runners on base are able to score on that hit by Elsa Morrison.
Fans loving it. And the freshman with her first career start at shortstop comes through with a big knock on the first pitch from Mosius. And the Lady Vols have struck for 5 in the 5th.
That at-bat is so impressive because when a new pitcher comes in, especially bases loaded, all the pressure is on them, and oftentimes you kind of want to see if they will throw you a strike. So for Morrison to step into the box and be hungry for that first pitch and then put a great swing on it was incredibly impressive.
So it brings Mackenzie Butt to the plate. She has struck out in both of her plate appearances so far, and she's the 9th hitter to come to the dish in the 5th. Mosius gets a strike on the outer half. Mosius, a Transylvania transfer from D3 to D1. Couple seasons at Transylvania, transferred in and was a second-team All-Sun Belt pick last year. But fouls this one off at first.
And when we asked Coach Jones how she found someone from D3, she actually said Twitter.
Social media is important.
And now she has all the resources at a Division I university. And last year she had such a successful year and watches elite pitchers and tries to be them and learn something from everyone.
0-2. This is off the plate. You talk about those resources, and when you look at Mosius coming from D3, they don't have the nutrition, they don't have the facilities, they don't have that workout plan that you get the luxury of at the Division I level. 1-2, but fouls it off, but has been able to do so here and developed as a group. And even at D3, we talk about some of those ancillary things. She didn't even have a pitching coach, a true pitching coach at the Division III level.
And what pitching coach Alex Ibarra is able to do with her last year and this year, help her develop that off-speed, that change-up pitch, has helped her be so much more successful.
But flies it towards shortstop. Barrett backpedals out. She drops it. But to second base is in there safely. Everybody safe. The inning extends, and the winning run closing in for Tennessee on perhaps a run rule.
Once again, these pop-ups in the outfield, challenging this App State defense. This should be either the center field or left fielder's ball because the shortstop is having to run backwards, backpedal, so it's going to be an easier play for someone coming in. But Mackenzie Butt taking advantage of that mistake and going 2 on that error.
Well, App State's going to dip back into the bullpen again. It'll be a third different pitcher here in this inning. Tennessee has scored 6. Need 3 more to walk this thing off, but with 2 outs, App State trying to buckle down. Tennessee leads by 5, the #1 team in the nation. Late arriving here on this Friday. We're back with more in a moment. App State uses Belle Verady, a sophomore from Greensboro, North Carolina. She threw a scoreless inning against George Washington on February 7th. A day later, gave up 4 without recording an out against UNC Wilmington. Those are only 2 appearances of the season. And it's an inning that could have ended a while ago, but Tennessee continues to push. They've scored 6 times and lead 6-1. Here's Alana Leach. She takes downstairs. The ball skips away, and the runner takes off for third base in bunts.
And that's just what elite teams do, is they take advantage of your mistakes. So the errors, the walks, they take advantage. It doesn't even have to be the big swing like we've talked about. It can be another batter being disciplined right behind him and inducing a walk.
Verady delivers, and it's fouled off by Leach. App State entered this inning with a 1-0 advantage. There was 2 outs and a runner at first base. And then the wheels came off. A hit batter, 3 straight walks, the double and an error. 1-1. Stays high this time, 2 balls and a strike.
Going back to Tennessee's theme of the year, dominate. It's not just winning by 1 run or 2. It's continuing to put pressure, continuing to score runs. And that's what you see with these 2 outs, is they're not letting up even though they scored and they got ahead. They're continuing to put runs on the board and dominate.
Well, it's like you mentioned, when you're playing the #1 team in the country, you have to play pretty flawless to be able to get the job done. And that has been anything but the case in this inning. Walks at batters, errors. Verady's 3-1. Leach flies it out to center field. Gerg camps out underneath it. She squeezes it, and that ends an inning that sees Tennessee scores 6 times in the inning. And we'll go to the 6th inning. Tennessee leads by 5 now. How does App State's bat respond? We'll find out when we come back. An exhausting 5th inning sees Tennessee scores 6 times in the frame, and the Lady Volunteers lead App State 6-1 as Mountaineers come to the plate here in the top of the 6th. Michael Watring, Riley West, and our team with you. Grace Barrett stands in 0 for 2 on the day. And the first pitch from the right-hander stays high. Aaron Newer had been sitting for a very long time and now trying to work quickly here in the 6th inning.
If you're Aaron Newer now, you're a little bit more comfortable. You don't have as much pressure on you because you have that bigger lead. So you're able to, in a way, pitch more freely, which is something that Coach Karen Weekly told us coming in. that this season she's been successful because she's letting go and she's pitching freely. So now with that lead, she's really able to hone in on that.
2 balls and no strikes, though, to Barrett. Misses outside this time. 3 balls and no strikes. Gets a strike there, 3-1. Entering the inning, 75 pitches for Neuer. Has had a couple innings where she has thrown single digits.
I can guarantee you after that 3-0 count that Karen Weekly from the dugout was telling Erin Neuer to go right at this batter. Your team just scored you 6 runs, so you have nothing to lose. Go right at them.
Barrett laces this into the gap in left center field, and it 2-hops the fence. Barrett hustling to second, and just does get in there ahead of an awkward slide.
Grace Barrett taking advantage of the 3-1 count, taking a pitch left over the plate and driving it to the gap. And she's able to do that because she's keeping that front shoulder closed even longer and extending through. That pitch even looked to be on the outside corner, but because it was off speed, she was able to pull it. And then I think she decided once she was hitting the bag that I should probably slide, and that's why her feet got tangled up.
Neuer had given up 3 hits all season. App State has 4 of them here today, including a home run and a double. And 1 inning right now has just gotten away from this group.
And if your App State coach is Coach Whitney Jones, you're taking away that your team can compete with the #1 team in the country. Just 1 inning that you're going to have to fight back from now. But other than that 1 inning and a few costly errors, you were right in this game so far.
Schaefer flies it to right center field. Knight squeezes it, and Barrett slams the brakes on after 1 step towards third.
Erin Neuer doing a great job of getting a pop-up. Oftentimes, Coach Weekly says, if you give up a hit, what matters most is getting that next out. And then Sophia Knight in center field getting behind the ball and coming through it prevented Grace Barrett from being able to take that hard lead off.
Tough play, but made there by Dodge, and gets the ball back into the infield as well. In foul ground, Ella Dodge fields her spot.
Look at this play. Ella Dodge sprinting full speed as well as calling for the ball and then planting with that right foot, doing a 360 to prevent Barrett once again from challenging her and getting an extra base. If I'm Grace Barrett on that, I'm tagging and I'm forcing Ella Dodge to make a perfect throw all the way across the diamond. With the player running away from you and then having to plant and throw, that's going to be an extremely tough play, and I'm going to challenge Ella Dodge on that one.
Leah Gore digs in. 1 strike and nothing. She's 0 for 2. App State hasn't had a winning season since 2022. But look the part already today. 12-2 to begin this season. And they had this Tennessee team on the ropes.
They did, and you could even see it within Tennessee's play. A couple bobbles, 1 error from Ella Dodge. I know she just made that great play, but it was bleeding on to the rest of the team that just...
1 hopper. Neuer not only able to field it, but adjust her face mask and throw out the runner at first base. And she works around a leadoff double in the 6th. Strong inning for Neuer. And Tennessee's 8, 9, and 1 hitters will dig in, coming off of a 6-run 5th, looking to end it in run rule fashion when we come back to Knoxville in a moment. Appalachian State came on the road to number 1 Tennessee today. They got a leadoff home run from Michaela McLean and led 1-0 all the way until the bottom of the 5th when Tennessee scored 6 times with 2 outs in the inning. And now the Lady Vols looking to put this one to bed here in the 6th. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 due up. Clark, Rutan, and Knights. Michael Watring, Riley West, and the rest of our team with you here on the SEC Network today. Game 1 of 2 for us. Clark bounces one through the hole on the right side of the infield for a base hit. Our first knock of the afternoon. Tennessee has the leadoff batter aboard for a 3rd straight inning.
Emma Clark with an inside-out swing on an inside pitch. Verratti comes inside from that left side and just jams Emma Clark almost, but she's able to muscle through because she keeps her hands inside the ball. And oftentimes, all you need to put a game away is that leadoff batter on, shutting down the momentum of the opposing team.
Maddie Rutan now climbs into the box. And if you remember, an inning ago, she hit a little floater to center field that was misplayed. They were able to get the out at second base, but that just started the unraveling defensively for App State. A hit batter and 3 walks after that, and Tennessee had the lead. Rutan leans out in front of that and fouls it off.
That swing by Rutan almost felt like a 0-2 swing, and now she is 0-2, but you want to leave that pitch alone. Look at this, an off speed on the outer corner, way ahead of it, and tries to pull it. If she's going to go for it, she's got to send it to the opposite field. But if she's not on time, I don't think she should go for that early in the count.
0-2 pitch. Rutan lays off of this. Verratti, 1-2. Rutan pushes it foul up the first base line. Well, regardless of how this one ends, if it's this inning or the next, and whether or not App State can make a comeback, if you're Whitney Jones, this is certainly something to build on this weekend as one of their 5 games. They'll play Tennessee again to wrap up this tournament on Sunday.
If you're Coach Jones, you're excited about what you see from this team, and you know that you'll grow. They just limit those errors and those extra.
Barrett throws to first. It skips off of the glove of McIntyre. Everybody's safe, and over to third base goes Clark.
This is a good pitch by Verratti, keeping it down, inducing Maddie Rutan to hit the ball on the ground. And then just an errant throw. She might have even been able to pump fake it, catch Emma Clark off, and go for Emma Clark because it was going to be a close play at first base with Maddie Rutan.
It's an infield single and an error. That allows Clark to get to third.
Maddie Rutan just has something going for her today, hitting it towards people, and they're making errors, allowing her to get on base.
So now Sophia Knights squares the bunt, backs away, and Rutan is going to take second base. No throw to third with Clark getting ahead of steam down the line.
I think that's a good decision by the App State defense. Yes, a runner is moving in scoring position, but Emma Clark had a big lead off of third, so if they made that throw all the way down to second, it was going to be tough to get Emma Clark out coming home, even if they cut the ball off.
Well, with nobody out, 2 in scoring position. Knight at the plate. Doesn't have a hit, but has drawn a walk and been hit by a pitch. And she has scored a run as well for the 10th consecutive game. Verratti pitches with the 2-1. Knight fouls it back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tennessee will take on Penn State Roughly 45 minutes after the conclusion of this ball game, Penn State pulled away from North Carolina Central in its first game of the day. And Clarissa Crowell's team is off to a red-hot start to the year as well. 3 teams that are on fire to begin the season in this tournament. And here's the 2-2. Knight pokes it foul.
Sophia Knight just has so many tools in her toolbox. Earlier in the game to lead off, she slaps. Now, with runners in scoring position, she's looking to swing away, poke something to the outfield. Coach Weekly told us that every player knows their job and knows their role, and Sophia Knight's role is to look at the defense, see the hole, and put it there.
Karen Weekly said that she was so happy that she was the SEC Player of the Week because so many times slappers get discounted. You don't get RBIs, you don't have home runs, you don't have those huge numbers, but she was 11 for 13 and earned that. And Weekly said that she has tons of tools in the toolbox and has worked the count full. The payoff pitch. Knight hits one in the air, back behind short. Simpson comes on and makes the running catch. Both runners retreat, and it's the first out here of the 6th.
That's a good pitch. That's a good pitch by Varady. Inducing a fly ball, but knowing Sophia Knight, she has to have even more power. She's predominantly a slapper to drive that out. And then the left fielder, Summer Simpson, coming in. They've had some trouble in the outfield today coming in, but that one, she was able to come in, have that momentum to prevent Emma Clark from scoring.
So big first out. Gabby Leach gets her turn. Riding an 11-game hitting streak, but is hitless today with a walk and a run scored. Varady turns it loose. Leach swings and misses, 1-1.
This lefty-on-lefty matchup is oftentimes really hard for left-handed batters because they don't see as many left-handed pitchers, and then the ball hides behind the pitcher once they get off the mound, and then mixing that with Varady's curveball coming across the plate, it's making for a challenge for Sophia Knight and now Gabby Leach.
Cameron Fisher started this game and was really, really good. Up until the very end, all 5 runs charged to her were unearned runs. 4 2/3 innings, just 2 hits. She did walk 5 and hit a batter. But the main takeaway for Fisher is she can compete not just at the Division I level for a freshman, but can compete at the highest of levels in softball.
Most definitely. Her stuff was exceptional today. She just started to get behind in those counts, gave up a couple free passes. But when you look back at this, if you're Cameron Fisher, you know you can compete at this level, and it's something to be excited about and proud.
2-1. Again high. 3 balls and a strike.
And like we mentioned earlier, Coach Whitney Jones had said with the freshmen, there's going to sometimes be a learning curve. And I think that learning curve for Cameron Fisher is understanding how essential it is to getting ahead in those counts.
3-1. Bases loaded for Tay Holly. 1 out here in the 6th inning.
And Tay Holly had that walk to tie the ball game, which was one of the most impressive at-bats of the night because there was a lot of pressure in that at-bat. She had bases loaded. She's a freshman, first time playing at home, and she was cool, calm, collected, held her ground, and just used her eye. Very, very disciplined at-bat.
Holly hammers this ball to left. It's over Simpson and off of the wall. In comes Clark. Rutan right behind her. And slamming the brakes on at third is Leach. And Tennessee blows this one open. 8-1 here in the 6th.
Tay Holly, have yourself a day. When runners are on base, she has been stepping up all evening. A pitch on the outside part, a curveball. She just stays on it, lets it travel deeper in the zone, and goes through extension, staying palm up, palm down. Just knocks it right over the head of Summer Simpson out there in left field and scores a few more runs to add on to the day she is already having.
Well, now Tennessee only needs one for what would be a 7th run rule win of the season. And it will be Leach, the one that represents the winning run. Over at third base. Ella Dodge digs in. She's singled and drew the walk that gave Tennessee the lead in the 5th. Verady starts Dodge, and Dodge leans back on that breaking pitch that stays around the shoulders. The 1-0. Dodge takes a strike on the inside.
You could kind of see Dodge tilt her head on that one. Not something she likes, but as a veteran, she's had great at-bats of knowing what she's looking for and then going for it with a hit earlier in the game.
Verady's 1-1. Dodge punches this into the sky. The shortstop Barrett catches it. 2 outs, 2 on. And Elsa Morrison stands in, had that monster smash in the 5th inning. That brought in 3.
Credit to Verady on that pitch. Jamming Ella Dodge. In this situation, she just gave up a big hit to Tay Hawley, and then to settle back in and get that out to prevent that run rule if Gabby Leach scores was essential.
Morrison, 2 extra base hits today. She has a pair of doubles of Tennessee's 6 overall hits in the game. The 1-ball pitch. Morrison laces this into right field, all the way back, off of the fence. It's another Morrison mash, and it's a walk-off winner for Tennessee. The Lady Vols score the game's final 9 runs, and the Lady Vols take this one by 10-1 margin on the double from Morrison.
Elsa Morrison just having a day at the plate, letting her rotational forces drive this ball, staying on it so it's able to hit the wall. And Elsa Morrison, just so impressive. Knoxville native getting it done in front of the home crowd to start their weekend.
Tennessee wins it despite trailing 1-0 going to the 5th inning. And the Lady Vols get a 7th run rule win of the year to begin the Tennessee Invitational. And Penn State will now have their chance against this Tennessee team. What's your biggest takeaway?
Biggest takeaway is elite teams, they stay in it. And sometimes they wait for you to make a mistake. So App State in that 5th inning, a few mistakes that were crucial. Tennessee just stuck in the game, kept their focus, didn't let it get too out of hand, and then just piled on when the chance came.
Lady Vols win it in run roll fashion. And now we'll get Penn State to try to make it 16 consecutive wins to begin the year. I'll step out for a break. We got about 45 more minutes until we have first pitch between the Nittany Lions and the Lady Vols. We're back with more on the SEC Network as Tennessee beats Appalachian State here in Game 1 of 5 this weekend.